We are live. We are live. I must apologize. Several things happened today to throw my time off. While I realized that on the East Coast or in America, they have daylight savings time, nothing changes here in Ghana, right? But it changes over there. So my 10 o'clock show that would go 10 o'clock for me here in Ghana would usually go for 5 o'clock over there, right? But I'm still way off because right now it's right up on 11 o'clock. And so that means it's 7 o'clock over there. Well, why am I so off? Well, that threw me off, but I had some dental work done and I was all shot up, groggy, came in, slept, had to deal with a power outage. I was all jacked up. So in actuality, we're less than an hour away from Positively Angela's show. So this is not going to be anything long. But what I do promise you, after Positively Angela, we have like the world's longest walk and talk. Okay. Yesterday was overcast. We decided to take a walk. And of course, I brought my camera. And two interesting things happened that make the video nice. It's just the same typical walking and talking. We went through different areas. We had a very interesting conversation and two very interesting incidents happened yesterday. So I think you'll enjoy that. Plus, it's a nice long one. But anyway, I'm surprised that I'm here. I'm surprised that I'm even sounding like myself. Dentists today, they got a lot of dental work. For real, I was cracking jokes to the whole thing. They were laughing. We played music and man, we had a good time. It wasn't even like I was at the dentist, except for when they shot me up. And I couldn't feel half of my face. So I'm doing good now. I'm doing a little better. My jaw just hurts a little bit, but everything's good. I'm glad to be here. The week will follow through as usual, but I was a little off today. And that happens sometime. I'm only human, but I always like to keep the work going. But there are a couple of things that Mrs. SCURV and I were talking about earlier, or I was kind of talking out of one side of my mouth like I am now, about these delusions that people have. That's why I titled it Severe Mental Delusion is More Common Than You Think. There are a lot of people out here walking around that just know how to be normal, how to be socially appropriate, how to be, how can I say it? They're just great people, but they have severe mental issues. Indigo King, how are you, my brother, my king? Master Glam, always here. Always love to see you. You're here. I'm ready to do something more with you. Breezy, I got your message there in the comment section. I want to answer it, but some things came up. And like I said, you know, this Sister Oyala, yes, we just finished chatting in the Telegram room there, right? And tonight I can work on the things finally. After Positively Angela, I put up the walk and talk, which is quite long. I mean, it's not like it was 5 hours or anything like that, but it's over an hour. Let's just say that. Well over an hour. But just how I just don't understand the blur. See, we can think things. We can think things, you know? Yes, you're right, Majesty de France. You know, you're dropping some links here and some comments here. Just participate. I don't know if you're spamming or whatever, but what else is new? America is a new Babylon, but it's tied into the whole world. It's all over the place. The world has become Babylon in a sense. You know, some places are worse than others, but hey, it's a worldwide thing. You know, I don't know who thought America was this great place where everybody is morally upright. It's always been corrupt. You know what I mean? It's always been that way. What else is new, right? But yeah, the mental delusions of people people who you can see at your job, everything is fine. Just throwing in a few scenarios. And then they go home and kill their family and come back to work the next day. Nobody found out yet, acting normal, eat lunch together. They do their duties and go home, and then you see them on the news like, what? I just saw them earlier. It's crazy. And then we have these teachers who have stellar records. And all of a sudden, you have a female teacher who's pregnant with a 13-year-old child. And then you have women who, and men doing it. Yeah, of course. Men doing it with little boys, men doing it with little girls. How do you get to this point? But they got the job. They passed the background check. So, I mean, what is it? What gives? These background checks are no good? Don't other people see little things about these people, or is it so well hidden? I don't understand it. But these delusions, it's really crazy. I have a little clip that I want to play, maybe two. But let me see if I can get this thing going here. Let me see. We'll have to take this down where you see the vibrating logo, which is covered up right now. Let me see. Let me see. No, let's start that. I got to take away this banner. Always gets me because I'm still a little groggy, y'all. The equivalent of drunk. All right, I'm going to share this screen here. Let me just make this a little bigger. You probably saw this in the past. Okay, let me see. Is this her here? Yeah. Okay, good. Now, how do I get back to the regular screen? This is so confusing sometimes. This is what we're going to do. I'll start it out and I'll come back to it. Okay. Boom, here we go. Okay. Did you see that? Did you see the screen of what I was about to share? I don't know because it's not letting me shift between both. Let me know in the chat room. I know you had to hear that audio. Okay. Let me see if I can run that back again. It makes it okay. I got to go back and share this again. I guess this trip to the dentist really jacked me up today. Okay, let's see. All right. Okay, we're going to share the screen. Go back.
A former HISD middle school teacher is facing mounting legal troubles tonight. Destiny Hillsman is accused of having an inappropriate relationship with two female students. Andy Sirota has been digging through court papers all day, and he's live in our newsroom with what he's uncovered. Andy?
Daniela, Destiny Hillsman is no longer working at HISD's Holland Middle School. The 25-year-old educator is accused of having an inappropriate relationship with two girls, a 13 and 14-year-old. According to court papers, Hillsman kissed and texted both girls, telling the 14-year-old at one point that she was her soulmate. In her statements to police, Hillsman also telling investigators that she professed her love to the 13-year-old and bought her a ring so they could have matching ones. telling her in a text message, quote, "I'm always with you forever." Also, according to court papers, Hillsman believed the 13-year-old was, quote, her person, and that if anyone ever found out about the two of them, she would look bad because she's an adult and the 13-year-old is a child. Court papers also state that she sent the 14-year-old a text that read, quote, "You're a good kisser. Your kisses are passionate. And I honestly don't get that a lot." Another read, "I want you to chase me because you want to, not because I want you to." Hillsman was arrested and charged in October of last year. She also told investigators she made a mistake and is not a bad person, adding that in of the cases, she wasn't the only one to blame for the relationship. Live in the newsroom tonight, Andy Sirota, KPRC 2 News.
Okay, let's play another one here. We're going to talk about both of them, okay? Let's share this one. Okay, let me see. And this was like from last year, I'll say. But, I mean, I can pull a whole lot of them up. You know what I mean? Okay, let's get to this here. Okay, share screen. Here we go.
20-year-old Ayanna Davis, a substitute teacher at Lakeland High School, is now out of a job facing serious charges. She's accused of having sex with one of her male students, who deputies say is 16 years old or younger.
If you're a teacher, you're supposed to teach. You're not supposed to be getting involved with these students like that.
The investigation began back on December 3rd when a student told a school resource officer about a video on Snapchat showing Davis and another student having sex. According to the affidavit, the male victim sent the video to a large number of Lakeland High School football players. When investigators interviewed Davis, she admitted she and the male student had sex at least 4 times, twice at her home and twice at the student's home, while his parents were asleep upstairs.
Like, girl, what is wrong with you? Did you burn through your last 5 brain cells? So she's locked up in the county jail, and I anticipate that's where she'll spend Christmas, eating turkey off of a loaf.
When investigators confronted the victim, he initially denied ever having sex with Davis before admitting the two had sex 4 times. In interviews, he says he initiated the relationship when he randomly walked up to her one day. He tells police at first the two just liked each other, but says the relationship turned sexual on October 10th after a football game. As of right now, police are still working to track down a copy of this Snapchat video.
We certainly would like for someone to turn it over to us. We know there are copies out there, but they deny it. However, we've talked to multiple witnesses that saw it. So we believe our witnesses.
In a statement, Polk County School Superintendent Frederick Hyde says in part, quote, "We expect substitute teachers to uphold the same high standards of conduct and professionalism as our full-time educators." Going on to say the charges against this person are disgraceful and a complete violation of the trust that teachers build with their students.
Okay. Is this something that is like, okay, hold on. Okay, something else tried to pop on. I don't know how I have this stuff rigged up. Excuse me, I'm all drugged up from being at the dentist today. Yes, Blue Waters, I see you. Welcome in. Reese, you, of course, Oyala, Indigo King, everybody else who I introduced, Master Glam, and everybody else, right? But yeah, this is not going to be long. And Yvonne, I see you. Oh, wow. Going up the chat room here. But yeah, this is not going to be a long one. I got to prepare for Positively Angela, and I know the time has moved back. So if she's going to go in at 8 o'clock, Eastern time, that means midnight, which is 11:14. So this is not going to be long. I just want to stick this in. Please forgive me. I will make it up, and I'll make it up. I've been doing so much, and like I said, we're going to grind it this week. I want to have a good week. I just got off to a bad start. But in your opinion, is this something that is being revealed more because of social media and so many cameras, in essence, making everyone the paparazzi? But what they did, it got around because of the football player, right? So this woman, and I'm talking about the football player and the teacher. We're going to go back to that. woman there with the 13 or 14-year-old girl, which that one there, if we can say one is more bizarre, I'm going to go out on a limb. They're all bizarre and it's all wrong now, right? But that one with the 13 and 14-year-old girl with that female teacher, that's something bizarre, okay? It's all wrong, right? But this is something with the football player and the young teacher. What was she, like 21, 22 years old, substitute teacher? She's just at the same age group, but it's not right. You are in a position of authority. I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're like, what, just turned 18, even though they wouldn't have closely matched people that way. But still, her mind was a certain way. She did not see them as children. She saw herself right there with them, but that is no excuse. What are you doing in there liking the guys that you're over? To the point where he had to pick up some cues and he stepped to her, but that didn't make it right. That didn't make it where it was right. She's in a position of authority and that's inappropriate. We have to have a hard line drawn. That's the problem these days. We don't have the hard lines drawn where you don't cross. Or if you want to think things all you want, but don't go across those lines. And to me, yes, things went on decades ago, 100 years ago, 50 years ago. I think personally that it's something that's flaring up more because of what's going on in people's heads. Like I always say, everything that you see created is a product of a thought. That goes for the decadence also. So you're watching porn, you're watching social media. To me, I'm not just going to blame just social media because I don't care how much you show me certain things. There's certain things I'm not going to do. But some people who grew up in this social media era, we can't forget, number one, we start playing the numbers game. Okay, let's go back to the late 90s. And I know Black Planet may have been around a little before then, but Black Planet is now a booty call site. But before, it was a very classy, creative people, intelligent dialogue. Yes, you had a little bit of the riffraff there, the booty call stuff, but that was a small percentage. When I got on Black Planet, it was really wonderful. That's really what got people in Black America to know who I was. Not that I was trying to be all of that, but I got to know a lot of people. On Black Planet, at one point, I had 352,000 followers there, strong. And we were active, and I was doing stuff every day. That's what got me in with Black America. Yeah, I killed the page because it was getting too filthy. And there are other platforms that are not dignified that I'm finding myself still on because I was on from the onset when it came out decent. Somebody came to me, SCURV, you got a tagged page? I said, read it. It says I'm married. It says I write and I draw and I do videos, but it's a bad look now. I'm on so many social media platforms more. There was a time when I realized I just put myself on there. But I'm not going to go in there and do anything inappropriate. You got to know where the line is drawn. So what do you think? You think this is something that is the thoughts have been flamed and fanned now because of this stuff? Or we just live in a more permissive society where we see things on TV that we couldn't see before? Even though we don't watch TV anymore, pretty much. We watch YouTube and we do social media. I remember back in the day when you had TV shows that came on and it said, due to mature subject matter, parental, whatever is advised, right? You knew that's the show you wanted to stay up and watch when you were in middle school or junior, like elementary school or something. Say, oh, they're going to curse on there. Oh, I might see a titty or whatever. And then the next day you're in school. Oh, did you see? I didn't stay up. My mama didn't let me watch the TV. What happened? She said BITCH on the TV. That was a big thing. Or you see some of those old PBS Channel 13 shows in the Roman Empire and I, Claudius, and you're like, what? No, he ain't got no top on. You know what I mean? So that was it. But now, not even just stuff with sex, but this whole trans thing. And see, what you see now was already planted. And you see that substitute teacher, She was in her early 20s. Well, guess what? This is 2023. And she's a substitute teacher, right? Although this was last year, right? Let's round it up. She was 21, 22. So guess what? She was born in the year 2000. 12 years ago, she was 10 years old. So when you see somebody who looks mature and you say, oh, that's the position they're in, those of us who are older forget that if you're a certain age, you grew up in this thing. I mean, if you were born in 1990, what are you now? 33? I mean, maybe not yet because your birthday may be coming, but pretty much 32, 33. But if you're 32 and 33, you grew up in this thing. When you were 13, 14, whatever it may have been, they had MySpace. And you were probably on it if you're 32 or less or 33 and less. You see what I mean? So you grew up in this thing. I'm not saying anything is wrong with anybody who grew up in it because look at me. I'm an old ass man and I'm on social media, but I have stuff to share. You know what I mean? So we all have our purposes. We all have our journey. But my mind was already sealed. My brain was already developed. So anything I do or did before had nothing to do with social media. I have to face the consequences for the things that I've done. So we have forgotten that time has slipped on and the effect on society, especially those, and I'm not, just coming at people who are younger than me. This is not a generational thing because we got some old fools who have discovered the so-called decadent joys of social media. But it helps to pass on thoughts. What do you think is happening to the human brain when a person can look at these YouTube shorts? They're captivating. And all you have to do is swipe up your thumb and get to the next one. If that one that you see within 5 seconds, I don't want to see that. Oh yeah, let me see this one. I like boxing and they get me all the time. You got the Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia fight coming up and it's a big fight. You know what I mean? You got the David Benavidez, Caleb Plant coming up soon. And it's flooded. And back in my day, you had to wait to get a boxing magazine that was 4 months behind because it was printed. So you knew the results of the fight, but you're watching the interviews leading up to the fight 4 months after it's over. And you were happy to get that. Now you're getting things up to date. I follow bodybuilding. Same thing. It's captivating. So you grow up in this thing, it does something to your mind. They already said that the bombardment of all of this data and whatever it is you want to see, you can search it out and find it. And now you find yourself in the real world, the outside world with these thoughts in your head and somebody else is over there with these thoughts in their head. I'm not going to say, now let's go talk about this chick. So she ends up having sex with him. No big deal, except that he's underage. And I know these things happen because what if you both are 17 and one turns 18 now and the other one's still 17, but they turn 18 in 2 weeks? Technically, you're doing it wrong. But we're splitting hairs there, right? What if they were going out for 2 years before that? I don't know. That's up to a judge. But getting back on this other one, I don't. She was 25. I think she was 25 with the two girls. And didn't hide. Investigators talked to her and she's like, yes, I brought her a ring so we can always be connected. In the text messages, I think they went nice on her because of the fact that there may be people in that school who know who a 13 or 14-year-old is. I think that's the most severe thing they said, because if she's head over heels over a 13-year-old or a 14-year-old, and she's a woman, I'm not, hey, to each his own, but get with somebody on your own age. What's up with that? So you in school and you hearing these songs in your head. Could it be I'm falling in love with you, baby? Could it be I'm falling in love? You're looking at a 13-year-old and you're a 25-year-old woman and a 14-year-old. What? What's missing from your life? What part of this thing don't you get? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with us? I'm not saying I'm like that or you're like that, but we're around it and we can't see it. Like, there's no line for some of these people, which shows me. And again, we see some old ass people out here doing some dumb ass things. Just because you got gray hair don't mean you have wisdom. I've found that out and I've learned that. And it seems to be sweeping across many generations. Some of these older folks out here too. It's everybody. They highlight these things, and I highlighted those because I can find something with some old 70-year-old man who's trying to get with a 15-year-old or whatever it may be. But severe mental delusion, I say, is more common than you think. You just haven't caught people in certain things. There's a certain time in life. It doesn't mean that you're dead. You can be romantic. You can be sexual. You can live fully as long as your health permits it, but find somebody who's compatible with you. All of this off the rail stuff. What is that girl thinking? The 25-year-old who was going with the 13 or 14-year-old. Well, she was with them at the same time. This was some underage threesome type thing. Something had to be going on because it wasn't just one person. Not that it would have made it right. But what were you thinking, girl? You gonna live happily ever after, or she gonna get old and she gonna be with you? But you know what? Those who go after children, when the children get older, something's lost and they want to move on to somebody who's young again. And I've seen that. I know people like that. No, not where they're doing no underage stuff, but I know I got one friend, ain't gonna say his name. He has no problem with it. He might even come on the show and talk about it. He's always dated 18 and 19-year-old girls. When he was 16 and 17, he dated 18 and 19-year-old girls. When he was 25, he dated 18, 19, 20. When he's 35, 45, 18, 19, 20. 55, no more than 20. 60, over 60. And I think the last one was 21. What is wrong with you, man? This is a pattern. See, for me, with him, what happens if he sees a 17-year-old or a 16-year-old at any point of his life? Has he done it? I don't know. But that's what he admits to. So there's an issue there because you can't handle a real woman. That's a whole different topic, right? We understand that. But why are you apprehensive in dealing with somebody close to your age? Me, why would I want to be with somebody who is 20 years old and I'm damn near 60? Then that means when they're 30, I'm 70. When they're 40, I'm 80. When they're 50, I'm 90. What can I do for them at 90 years old or 80 years old or even 70 years old? Now you got the panic. Now, it might be out there with them younger. She should be. Now there's going to be May, December relationships. But even still, in the chat room, before we wrap this up, I'm going to keep on going another 10 minutes or so. Tell me what is the biggest age gap that you'll accept in a relationship in general, because I know there may be exceptions on every rule, but what is the biggest relationship if you're single, if you're married, whatever, it doesn't matter. Let's just say what you would accept. Not that we're saying you're open for that. And to each his own. But what is the biggest age gap in the May-December relationship that you have, that you'd accept? 10 years? 12? 15? 20? 25? You know, I'm pushing it just to be funny. Because the dirty old men out there, they're going to be, and I'm talking about a relationship, not this kissy, sneaky business, you know, because somebody in that situation is being used. What do you think? Right? But these people, they appear to be functioning okay on a mental level. Okay, 5 years. We're gonna blow this up. Kevin Clark, you woke me up with that mess. Megan said 5 years. Okay. Is there any more? What is just inappropriate? Now, we know anything under 18. They say in Georgia it's 16 years old and everywhere else is 18. I understand that, but still, okay, 10 is the biggest age gap according to Master Glam. Okay, I've experienced this. Okay, except 10 is the biggest age gap I've experienced is around 20 plus. Okay. Oh, y'all. She said, I will not accept someone who's old enough to be my father. That tells it right there. Anybody else? And that is a topic for another show that we can go in depth, because I will make up tomorrow for what I didn't do today. Like I said, we have Positively Angela on, and we had the daylight savings time, a little power outage over here. I had my mouth shot up with stuff at the dentist, so it's like everything was going against me. Anybody else? Anybody else? Sometimes you see these old white billionaires, 89 and 92 years old. You know what it is when a chick is 22 years old and she's like marrying a dude. It's like there's a 70-year age difference. What are you doing with the man? Heck, you know? Yeah. He was, insecure. Yes. Yeah, and yes. See, it's a thing. I'm talking about really the Americanized thing. But yeah, I do understand the age gap thing is very common in many cultures. Because I know over here in Accra, you could be like my age. There's young girls hitting on me 20 years old. And I don't mean overtly like, okay, today I went to the dentist and it's in the University of Ghana Hospital. Excellent place. I've never seen a hospital like that in America. I have to show you. When I go back, I have to speak to the people to see if I can speak to the administration to find out if I can get permission to videotape around a place and maybe get a walk around. I've never seen that. Gave me complete, I don't want to say faith, but I'm so confident being here, seeing that facility. It was huge, different buildings, modern, clean, and not even packed. We'll talk about that another time. But like I said, there was a young lady there, and I'm paying for the services, and I got my card printed up when I come back there and stuff. She's over there peeping at me. Now, I happen to look in general. My eyes caught hers, and again, and I was on the other side. She's smiling and smirking. I'm like, look at this. Very subtle, but that's what it is. And I may not all the way look my age all the way. That's not for me to say. That's not for me to say. But come on now. She couldn't have been no more than 23. And so when I walked away, she waved. I said, okay, take care. I said, oh, snap. Some of these other dudes, they don't care. How old are you, brother? I am 72. Is that your daughter, your granddaughter? No, that is my wife. It's like, oh, God. What's going on? But seriously, there are people who don't know, to wrap this up, there are people who don't know. I'm going to say it the old school way. And I understand I will always honor different cultures, right? I can't knock them. It's just like with the culinary thing with different cultures. Different cultures, they eat different foods that I may think is nasty. And for them, it's normal. You know, when people transition, they have different customs. I saw, it was some meme or some video that popped up, and they mummify their ancestors that have transitioned, and they're like mummified and black. Like they did something to them. And I mean, they're black, but they did something to the body. It's like charcoal. And they pull them out every year and do ceremonies and had them sitting right there. Of course, they're like 25% of the size that they were, but that's their custom. Who am I to knock that? You know what I mean? And people say, well, to be a Christian, well, you drinking the blood symbolically in the body. So what is that, cannibalism? You know what I mean? But this thing here, this thing with the two 13 and 14-year-old girls, and then that woman had the nerve to say, well, I was the only one at fault. Well, who was? Was it them? They seduced you? And yes, we know we have some, how could I put it? Because I'm not blaming them. Hot in the drawers type women, right? Young girls. But no, I can't put that on them. I can't do it. I can't. No, it'd be inappropriate. The adult was there, and it's on her. I'm going to write a text to him. Oh, you're such a good kisser, and I don't have that in my life. So what are you saying? Do you have? That's telling me, do you have somebody that's not doing you right? It's more to it than that. No, 13 or 14, hell no. Now, if I was 13 or 14 and it was a 13, then it'd be okay because you're both the same age, right? But how many people do we know that we see every single day and they're mentally off? We don't know our place anymore. We don't know our place anymore. You got men out here who still think they're playboys and they still think they're in the game. Sit your ass down. And the young girls that come around that are of age, here you go in your pimp mentality. How you doing, young lady? So, and you think that you in the running. And she looking at you like granddaddy. Cut it out. You had your time. Now, that's not it now. I got to get on some of our older sisters. You think that, and I don't want to say that a person cannot find true love. And I'm going to borrow time now because I might have to move fast to get her show together. But I just want to say this. Maybe I'll come on after. Right? But, you know, and the thing is too, Master Glim, I'm not knocking you for liking older men. You know, I mean, within reason, right? Within reason. And we understand that. And there are reasons for all of this too. Okay? You know? Okay, here we go. My son's father is 14 years older than me. We met at work. He was 41 and I was 27. Hindsight 2020, the age gap is a big obstacle in relating. Yeah, exactly. You don't know. You know what I mean? And I'm not making excuses for anybody or brown nosing because you're here. But okay. You have a 19-year-old and a 29. He's not out of his 20s yet. He's about to get out of it. You haven't gotten in there yet, but you are very mature. You're very mature. And maybe he was, you know, not as mature as he should have been. And maybe the flirting and what that, I understand that. I understand that. But some teacher, a woman, and 13 or 14 years old. And like I said, now we got some older women out here who think they got it going on like that. And you can have it going on as an older man and an older woman, but understand your position. We can be sexy until the day we die. We understand that. But sexiness, it means something different as you get older. As an older woman, you don't have to be hanging all over your clothes, out of your clothes. You see what I mean? And that pimp game these old dudes think they got. But back to the women now, you got women who are like, they just know, you know, that, and I don't want to break anybody's bubble, but they're thinking that I'm so hot, I can get any man I want. And I'm deserving of this marriage with the white picket fence. But they blew it when they were younger, jumping around from one relationship to the other. Now you 60 and 65 and pushing up on 70 and you using the same mentality that you had when you were younger. That's what I want to get at for these older women. It ain't happening like that. You look in the mirror and you see what you were when you were 22, but it ain't happening that way. Have some dignity. Carry yourself a certain way. You can still find marriage and true love, but you're not going to find it at that age walking around like you were teenager. You see what I mean? Where I'm getting at? Same thing with the men. Yeah, man, I got that Viagra, man. My dick game is on point. You know, I got tongue skills. You're talking like that? Well, I mean, yeah, you can know you have that, and if you both decide at a certain age that, okay, we're going to take it and get a little more intimate, that's what y'all do. But the initial thing should be conversation, experiences. How can we relate? What are the characteristics that you have? It should not be that testosteronized thing at first. Man, she got a good body. And we got these older people playing the younger people game. And it could be, even if you're the same age, it could be a turnoff because you ain't looking like that. You know, you think that you're going to sex your way to a relationship and you in your 60s, then you getting with a fool. Especially when and this goes for both sides, male and female. I'm kind of taking it somewhere else. Boy, I want to talk about this. Maybe I'll come up with a good title and we'll talk about this tomorrow. You know what I mean? Because I started out on one thing, but still, it still holds. Severe mental delusion or delusions is more common than you think. You see them one way. I know you young ladies have seen a nice gentleman who is way older than you, not like within the range, like maybe Master Glam would accept, right? But way 40 years. And he's got to go. He's clean. His beard is trimmed and smelling good. Nice suit on, settled. And you say, wow, that's somebody's nice grandfather. He's looking at you like, I'm trying to get with you. You know what I mean? There's something wrong with that. Let me, yeah. And these guys try so hard. You know what I mean? Because they trying to prove themselves that they still got it. Oh, we need to talk about this tomorrow night. I'll come up with a different title, but it'll be right where we started. But I just had to talk about that one thing because it's just a short amount of time. And I got to do this in record time for us to be back on. So please don't be mad at me. I'm going to end this right now. And we're going to come back on with Positively Angela and my walk and talk. That long one is rendered. Maybe I'll come back tonight a little bit and then put up the walk and talk. I'll see. But let me run. I got to set this up for Positively Angela. And we can, she's going to put it down as always. You know what I mean? So yeah, let me play one song and get out of here because I got to start getting this show together. Okay. All right. Much love to you.